And among the many questions still at this hour, how to get Americans out of Israel who want to leave that country and do so, hopefully, safely. Just moments ago, I spoke to the National Security Council spokesperson, John Kirby, about that very question. John, thank you for being back here on the Hill on NewsNation. You are incredibly busy, so appreciate the time. I want to start with the efforts to get Americans out of Israel right now. I think Senator Josh Hawley sort of summed it up, what many people are asking. Here's a social media post he put out. He said, quote, "For the second time in 2 years, Americans are stranded in a war zone. What's the plan to get them out?" How can you answer that question?
Well, a couple of things here. First of all, commercial flights are still going in and out of Ben Gurion Airport, so that's always an option for those who may want to leave. There are still some viable ground routes, and we're exploring many other options as well to see if there's other things that we could do to help Americans who want to leave. There are many Americans who live and work in Israel. For many of them, it's home, and they don't want to leave. So we are mindful, though, that there could be some who using the commercial options or the ground route options are either not feasible or affordable. And so we are actively exploring other options.
I hear you actively exploring and that there's commercial and ground options, John, but Fiji, Hungary, and South Korea have already used airlines to evacuate people out. Canada and Germany have announced evacuation flights in the coming days. So how is it that we are seemingly behind several countries on this front?
I think I would take issue with you that we're behind anybody here. We have been exploring options and continue to do that. And I would just say stay tuned. I think we'll have more to say very soon about what some of those options are going to look like. American,
United, Delta, are you speaking with them about, sort of contract work and getting people home?
Yeah, again, I think just stay tuned, and I think you'll hear more very soon about some of these options.
Okay. Just to put a bow on this, for folks who are worried of their family at home and trying to get them out, I know you say stay tuned, but announcements in the upcoming day, in the upcoming hours, what's it like?
Look, I think within, certainly before the end of the day, I think we'll have more to say about some of these options. And to your other question, which I didn't mean to dodge, yes, we're certainly talking to the airlines as well to see what they can lay on and in what capacity. As you know, some of the domestic U.S. carriers have decided not to fly in and out of Ben Gurion, but many international carriers are. And so we are working with the airlines.
John, on the other end of Pennsylvania Avenue, obviously there's a pretty big story going on in the House. Republicans still haven't figured out who the next Speaker of the House is going to be. When you sit back and look at what's going on in the Middle East and inside Israel, at your perch from the National Security Council, is it a national security risk not having a Speaker of the House right now?
It's very important to have a Speaker of the House. I mean, my goodness, without a Speaker, you can't bring new legislation to the floor. And if you want to pursue additional funding for partners like Ukraine and Israel, well, you need legislative support for that. So, yes, it's incredibly important. We recognize that. Now, we have existing authorities and appropriations for both Ukraine and Israel that will get us through the near term. And you saw today we announced yet $200 million more in drawdown authority for Ukraine specifically. And, of course, the first tranche of U.S. military assistance arrived in Tel Aviv today. So in the near term, we can keep doing this. But in the long term, and as I said earlier today, we're starting to run out of runway here. In the long term,
how long is that?
We absolutely have to
runway?
have a Speaker of the House so that we can talk to them.
Yeah, real quick, how long is that runway?
I would be hard-pressed to give you a date certain. I'd be hard-pressed to give you a date certain since it depends on the expenditure of the munitions that are being provided.
Got it. All right, John Kirby, we got to leave it there. I know you got to run. Thank you for the time. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Mick, you were aghast at the top half of that interview.
Yeah, he cleaned it up a little bit at the end. I mean, here's how it's supposed to happen, right? They're supposed to have contracts in place.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.